pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Roll call, please, Jill.
Commissioner Bozak?
Here.
Commissioner Enslin?
Here.
Commissioner McGraw?
Here.
Commissioner McHarg? Here. Commissioner Tevlin? Here. Commissioner Hibschman?
Here. Approval of the minutes from May 14th of 2025.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tevlin?
Yes.
Commissioner Enslin?
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg?
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw?
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak?
Yes. All right, reports. Commissioners, anything? All right. Anything, Mike?
I do not have anything.
All right. Yeah, you're up.
Alright. Just
Where's
a
your
few things.
nameplate? It's just not here yet.
And just so you know, I pick all these things just generally. There's no real rhyme or reason, so if I leave anybody out, I apologize. But we would be here till 8 if I picked everybody. So June 4th, Doolin held their 135th annual graduation ceremony for the class of 2025. We also have online registration is now open for Doolin schools and the Northwest Indiana Online School. They also had on June 3rd the graduation for Northwest Indiana Online School, which was great. There were probably, 60 kids that realized during COVID that going back to school was not for them, and it was really neat to see these kids graduate to where they set their own schedule, they had to figure it out, they had to do their own time planning, right, to make sure they got it all done. So it was a really neat ceremony to hear. We're so used to the in-school traditional that it was my first opportunity to really understand the online. So that was cool. Congratulations to our CHS band and orchestra on winning the ISSMA All Music Award. So earning gold ratings in multiple ISMA events such as solo and ensemble, jazz, organizational contests, and marching band. It's the third year in a row for CHS Orchestra and fourth consecutive year for the CHS bands to have earned this prestigious award. And Doolin School was named in the 2025 Best Communities for Music Education in the country. 9 students were exam winners for the 2025 National German exam. The CHS boys track team won the Valparaiso Regionals. And just a reminder for this summer, there are free summer meals for kids available at Chesterton High School and Liberty Elementary. Chesterton High School will serve breakfast and lunch, 30 minutes each, and Liberty Elementary will serve lunch. So child can go and have a fresh meal every day, Monday through Friday also.
That's great.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of awesome stuff going on with schools. All right. Tina, anything now?
No, I'll just cover it down in the agenda items below.
All right. Any correspondence?
No.
All right. I did have in my mail, I had a thank you from Yost Elementary for donating to the color run. And then I also had in my mailbox, Jill, if you could look into this, it's from Mission Escape, and it's a certificate of insurance that came in the name of the Town of Burns Harbor Redevelopment Commission. So I'm not really sure what it's for, but if you could contact Mission Escape and ask them what it is and let me know, that would be great. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. Old business. Safe Streets for All. All right, we have the global invoice approval on here first. We did approve this last month at our meeting, but we did not read out the total for the minutes for the record. So the total of the global invoice was $54,535.72. So we're just noting that for the record because we did not say that amount at the last meeting. Next under there is the implementation grant application update. So this is for the Safe Streets for all the action plan. So when we went through all the reports, we looked at all the suggested projects. So we need to decide which project it is that we want to apply for the grant for. The two big projects that we have talked about in the past are the South Babcock connection, which is over by Corlin's Landing and Trail Creek, to get the residents easy access to the Dune Prairie Trail, be able to walk safely on Babcock Road. And then the other project that was high up on our list of things we wanted to do was to work with the Marquette Greenway here across the street on 149 and work to improve the safety for getting across 149 from this side of town to the other. What do we got?
I have a question.
Yes.
Are we going to see an actual written narrative report of what Safe Street? In other words, I don't want to be voting on implementing something if I haven't seen the big picture. I mean, we're the RDC, we're the ones that initiated this, you know, or do we just pay $50,000 to engineers and we don't get a report, or we don't get any presentation? These are the problem areas, these are the, you know, the things in the, you know, or we chop liver?
Jack, do you have any details on this that you can add as part of the chairperson for this?
Well, I mean, as far as the emails were sent out and all the reports were brought back, we got all the information, and from that, that's what created all of this final report. To go into detail, no, that would be Global that did all the detailing. That Janet or Shem would be the ones that would be able to answer those questions clearly.
What I'm saying is, I mean, this is a leap to, you know, implementing grant application update. You know, we're starting to move on to the next step, but I haven't seen the first step. I haven't seen anything except little tick marks on yeah, we did this, yeah, we did this, we collected this, we collected that. That's good. I appreciate, I know that took a lot of work, all right? But
You're wanting more details of each of the,
the devil is in the details.
yes.
And I'm not moving forward with anything, because anything we do commits us to money, to paying out something, and everything is gold plated these days. So before we move on to any other steps, I want to see the fruits from the tree.
The only thing I can say that I understand of the process is that a lot of this went through the state of Indiana, I forget, I'm trying to remember.
Team Norwell.
Team Norwell, and she helped guide us through all of the steps. And the reason that this had been brought to this point, I understand what you're saying as far as the fruits of that part. Again, Global Engineering would have to answer that. Those questions, I personally, I mean, yes, I am chairman of the group, but as far as the reports, I thought all that was given to a couple meetings ago. We went through the steps of what we did. We sent out and I know you're looking for the result, and we gave the results of what those steps were. And we're just following, I mean, as far as that's as much as I know, Brad.
We had requested before, Jack, to see those results from the surveys that were done in town, and I don't believe that we had seen those results to the survey that you had put out online in the letters that were mailed out to people. That's specifically what you're referring to, Brad, in addition to the further elaboration on that?
Yeah, you know, has to be a conclusion, you know, where, you know, the results are tabulated. Global uses their professional expertise to say, you know, like, how did we narrow it down to, you know,
These
Definitely.
projects that I mentioned were the projects that we had put on our list of things that we wanted to do before we even started. It had these two ideas
Okay.
came from that first list that we had talked about. It was probably a year ago before we even started.
I have a 72-hour memory, you know, so, yeah, oh, well, fine, okay. But, you know, look, if we're paying Global at least part of this, I mean, I understand we had a grant, you know, they're working for us. All right? So get Global in here and have them get a 10-minute presentation saying, here are the choke points, or here are what, you know, here's the 5 things that our respondents have said, you know, are real problems, and our eyeballing the situation confirms that, you know, whatever it is. Right now, I got a whole lot of nothing. I got absolutely zip. And it's not, you've been let in on, you know, part of the process and all that stuff. That's all fine. But we're all here. Okay, and we're the ones that are paying the bill. And so we're the ones that, and ultimately it's the taxpayer that's paying the bill. So we need to see something, you know.
Again, I believe the report, again, it was in the minutes 2 meetings ago when we brought a report for the SS4, the results of the surveys. I believe there was 200 and some odd surveys that were sent out. There was like 50 of them that were returned. Those were because there were apartments along Boo Road, and those names change constantly. Those surveys were reviewed by Global Engineering, and the committee, we talked about, that's how they came up with these items to address out of that survey. I thought we talked about all that. I'm trying to read, just like you, trying to keep all minutes from all the meetings that we all attend.
Yeah.
Understanding, but I mean, as far as a written report or something that could do that, I mean, I don't think Shem would have a problem giving us a written report of exactly what the results of those surveys said and where we're going from that. I know there were like 7 or 8 areas that came up through that. In fact, even the one area that was flooding, we'd asked that gentleman where the street, he was worried about streets and that. Did he fill out the survey? And he had said no. But my point being is that that's part of the work that's involved in this. I understand, you just need to see what that was.
We need to be cognizant of, if there's 7 areas, we need to know what those are, all right? So that we can look at the big picture, because sooner or later, somebody's gonna come to the RDC for money to fix it, or to do it, or to build it, or whatever it is, and we need to see the big picture as well as the, you know, up close. That's all I'm saying is, you know, we need to be kept appraised of what's going on before we can move on.
I thought this commission wanted to.
Tina, did you have something to add?
I just wanted to add, Commissioner Ensslin, the final deliverable of the action plan is a written report. So you could invite Global to come and present, you know, just the high level findings of that. The survey work of residents was just one portion of the work that they did. Global also collected data, looked at major intersections, and then identified a handful of projects as kind of the action plan to-do items. The implementation grant is on tonight's agenda because at the last meeting, it was mentioned that the implementation grant for Safe Streets for All is open. It closes June 26th. So we have a small window in which to prepare a application for the implementation dollars. So since the last meeting and now, I looked over the final plan and looked at priorities that things we've been focused on, you know, as a redevelopment commission in years recent, and then kind of what other projects were recommended in the plan, which are kind of, you know, 12 and 20 intersection improvements, things like that, things that take a lot of coordination with NDOT. So my recommendation tonight, if the redevelopment commission would like to proceed with the implementation grant in this cycle, I was, a staff recommendation or consultant recommendation would be to look at kind of trail development, as opposed to some of the roadway suggestions, in part because they are lower cost. The trail safety improvements would be a lower cost than some, and a shorter timeline than some of the larger 12 and 20 improvements. Those would require more budget. Why that's important is, as an RDC, the TIF dollars will be sunsetting in 2032. So we only have a limited number of funds left over the next few years to put towards redevelopment projects. So thinking that, so my tonight's recommendation to look at one of those trails potentially as the implementation project is just to kind of keep the momentum going on Safe Streets for All, stay consistent and aligned with where we've been investing on trails, and kind of look at more lower cost, less difficult projects. Because some of the 12 and 20 things could be things that you look towards NERC, you know, and trying to get NERC's pipeline, and that could be 5 years down the road, that kind of thing. So that's where we're at tonight. If you feel that the redevelopment commission needs more time, this is an annual grant. There will be another cycle in which you could apply for implementation. So
Do you know when that is? Do you know when the next cycle is?
probably around a year from now.
A year from now, okay.
Yeah. So either way, the redevelopment commission is still positioned with the action plan complete to have a set of ready projects that it can go for a grant when it's ready to do so.
Thank you, Tina. That was concise and provided guidance. I'm just gonna say that if we wait a year, the funds probably will disappear. Either federal or state, they're both chopping and pulling back grants and funds like crazy. They just canceled the school for the deaf that's been around for 100 years in the state. You know, I mean, they're all going crazy. And I don't expect. So if we want to get anything, we should apply. That's my opinion. But we still need a report.
Agreed.
Just to add to this, I mean, the work, the bill that's before us right now that we're talking about is work that has been completed. If we need to get better definition as far as what came out of this, I don't see a problem in, you know, trying to find something out on that. But I mean, the work that he's specified in here has been done, working with the state, working with the last treasurer, getting all the paperwork, and because the state requires certain things done by a date, just like the 26th of June needing that formality done.
Correct, and the grant, I think the final submissions have been provided to Federal Highway, so your staff's been working on that since the last meeting, so technically the action planning grant is it essentially wrapped up. We might be just waiting for the reimbursement of some funds or something, but that's very much in closeout. And that's why we're at the step tonight to look at implementation. And again, my consultant recommendation is to look at one of the two trail options. And I would say of the two, South Babcock is probably a lower cost and less complex project than Marquette Greenway at State Road 149.
Well, I'll make a motion to apply for what implementation grant on Safe Streets for the South Babcock trail project.
I second it.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call please, Joe.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner Tevlin,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Abstain.
Commissioner McCart,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't explain it as well as Tina did the first time around. I tend to jump to the question and omit the details. I apologize. All right, moving down to Westport site. So the Northwest Indiana Times invoice needs approved. This is the invoice for when we posted the bids. I can't think of the legal ad
For request
in
for
the
offers.
paper. What's that?
Request for offers.
Yes, for request for offers for bids. Sorry, I couldn't think of that word. And that invoice, sorry, I don't have that invoice.
I think it was in.
I have this one. Yep, thank you. It was $419.06.
I'll make a motion to approve for the Times invoice of $419.06.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call please, Jill.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner Tevlin,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Yes.
Commissioner McCart,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. All right, next on the list, the request for the RDC special meeting for RFO bid opening on June 18th. We had briefly talked about this at the last meeting, and we just wanted to make sure, are we still, everybody available for June 18th for the special meeting to go through the bids? It'll be a party, it'll be a great time.
Yep.
All right, we need to approve that at all, we just need to mention it.
What time are you, you just have to
That's a
post
good
that
idea. What did we
by
put in?
Monday, 48 hours ahead of time, so. And remember, I think sanitation is currently scheduled for 7.
Yes,
So
but there's storm too. It's an even month, right?
That's correct, so
So do you
then
wanna go before or after?
you could
Do you
maybe
have-
do
I don't
maybe 6 o'clock, because I would suspect your meeting would be less than 30 minutes.
6 o'clock?
Right.
6
6 is
o'clock?
fine.
Mm-hmm.
6 is fine? Okay, Jill, can you get that posted for us?
Thank you. Let me put that in here, I won't forget it.
Right. All right, moving down. Marquette Greenway, Phase 1A, we have the NDOT invoice to approve, and I just moved my phone, not have it in front of me, sorry. And this is the NDOT invoice in the amount of $4,054.11, and this is for, sorry. There's a PO on it. I don't have the extra paper.
President Rosen,
Sorry, thank you.
it's
Can't find it.
20% of the local share of the change order.
Yes, for the change order. I just don't have that. That's what I can't open, is the other,
Oh.
is the other page.
I guess that's what this is.
another attachment with it. I don't know, it's not opening on my phone. But this is we talked about this, at the last meeting. And this is the invoice for it, for the $4,054 for our match for the.
I'll make a motion to approve the NDOT invoice for $4,054.11.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tubman?
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw?
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensland?
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is the landscape request agreement. My phone's being really weird, I don't have that one in front of me either. But this was the document that Clay had put together for us for the landscape request that we talked about the last meeting. That was, I don't have the amount in front of me, I'm sorry.
Up to 5,000.
Up to 5,000, thank you, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
packet.
I'm like, I have all these papers, why don't I have what I need?
I wonder if I had extras.
That's okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, she really didn't have them.
No, I didn't. I'm
I
not making it
don't
up, I'm not making it up. Did everybody have a chance to review that? Does anybody have any questions on that?
No, we discussed that and Clay drew it up.
Yep,
We're good.
we're all good, everything looks good,
Yep.
everybody's ready to go? All right, we just need to get it approved.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement for the Doolan's property.
I second
Any discussion?
Just, there's, when I read over this, actually it was sent to us, there's one misspelled word, not that it's any complication or anything, but I
Okay.
don't think that makes a difference, but it should, one says trial instead of trail. I don't
Okay.
know if that needs to be corrected or not, but that's
Used
all.
to type in trial, but more than
Yeah. Must have been on
Because
your
all
mind
of
at the
Brexit's
time.
trial.
So is that in
It's in the
first sentence,
1,
paragraph
2,
1?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, whereas.
Oh, and then in consideration too.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll go in and make those spelling
That's it.
corrections.
Trial, trail, tomato, tomato.
Right? All right. Do we have a motion and a second? Did I have that? Okay, all right, roll call.
Commissioner Tubman?
it. Yes.
Commissioner McGraw?
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensland?
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak?
Yes.
And keep in mind
Oh,
that
then we're
there are
reading
some
it as everybody.
obligations of the property owner, and once those receipts are submitted, there'll be a further approval of the actual payment.
All right. All right, phase 1A, update on the pooled water. So we have sent, Avon Marsh has gone back out and resurveyed the land there so we can get a good topo of where the elevations, like lots of numbers and lots of things on that report. So they are analyzing the data for possible solutions. And that's where we're at with that right now. So we had that survey done, the survey is done, so we have completed that step, it's just under review. Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
We're working on it.
I know.
We're trying.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, phase 1B is the Norfolk Southern invoice. I gotta pack it now.
I have the report.
Okay, right.
I can just keep handing it to you.
I'll do the same favor the next one, right? All right, this is the NS invoice, and this is for the preliminary work that was done for the right-of-way under the NS bridge. This is our bill that we are responsible for, and it is for $3,204.57. Does anybody have any more question or comment on that? And this again is our one step closer on this phase of the project for 1B. We had to get over this hurdle, so yay. It's nice to have a piece of paper that says NS on it.
Right. I'll make a motion to approve the Norfolk Southern invoice for $3,204.57.
I second that.
All right, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Yes.
Commissioner Tevlin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes.
President
All right.
Bozak. President Bozak, could I just give an update on Phase 1B?
That would be wonderful.
Okay, so Norfolk Southern had received our 30% design out on Marsh. They provided comments out on Marsh. The design engineering firm reviewed those comments, answered many of the questions, and then had a small set of questions that needed further answering by Norfolk Southern. We just received communication today that they have finalized their response and will be getting those questions answered by the end of this week. Once that is done, then we will submit. We've got 90% design ready. We may need to tweak some depending on how those questions come back to us this week, but we've got 90% kind of in the wings for Norfolk Southern to take a look at. Meanwhile, we're in final stage of negotiation with NIPSCO for some of the right-of-way access that we need for the trail. And so that's the engineering side. And then on the environmental side, we do have the environmental review. The National Park Service here at the Indiana Dune State Park, as well as the regional office, are reviewing our environmental documents, so we're making progress on that. So right now things are moving well and kind of on time with our grant schedule under Next Level Trails. We do have a quarterly report due this month, so I'm working on that, just pulling some of the most recent project data from the two engineering firms, environmental and design, and that's where we're at with the Phase 1B. And just for the audience, Phase 1B is the end of the overlook at the Stanley over to the town quarter is the section of trail that's been funded with a $5 million grant from Next Level Trails for construction. We're still in the early stage of design and engineering and environmental.
Thank you very much for that, Tina. All right, new business. Town hall renovations, Hen and Sons invoice. Thank you, ma'am. So this came to us from the town council as a request to use RDC funds to cover the overage for the renovation on the building here. And Tina, was that going to come out of the RDC general budget or TIF funds? I can't remember what it was discussed. What the difference would between the two.
Yeah, the recommendation was that it would come from the TIF funds for the construction.
Okay, and there's two invoices here, and one of them is for $17,835.66, and the other one is for $7,266.66. What do you all think about this, and what do you want to do?
President Bozak, sorry to
No,
interrupt,
please.
but I think a portion of that has been paid, so I need to make sure that you have the exact amount, because it's a smaller amount that needs to be approved.
Okay,
that
yes,
total.
I thought that it was like 20. I thought it was like 21 something. Sorry.
Do,
Just give me a second.
do we actually have the money?
Yes, we do have the funds to cover it.
Do we have the money and also cover, in other words, do we have enough money in RDC to pay this, which we just heard about now, and all the other commitments that we've just gone down
Right.
through,
Yes.
and we're just getting
Yes.
started,
Yes.
I mean,
We do have the funds to cover it. The RDC does have the funds to cover it.
okay.
this was, and I apologize, it was left off the agenda last month to discuss. It was brought up at the town council meeting, let's see, today's June, so it would have been the April town council meeting that the town council kicked it back here to see if we could help out and cover the cost of the overage from that.
Well, I don't really have an objection, because it was an emergency. I mean, you know, we can't let the town hall fall down around us. We're being taken over by bees.
Yeah.
Well, there's a movie there, you know.
Yeah. What did you find that for?
I did. So the invoice 319.54, the balance is 7,266.66.
Okay.
And then on invoice 319.55, there's a remaining balance of 3,320.66.
What's with all these 66 cents?
So the total amount, the total amount that is due to Hen and Sons for completion of town hall is $10,587.32.
I like that a lot.
It's
Yeah,
better
I
than
like
20,
that.
that's better than 25.
Yes.
And then I just want to note, if this is approved through the RDC's TIF fund, in conjunction with approving payment of the Hen and Sons invoice, the RDC should also make a motion for amending the 2025 spending plan to increase the capital expenditures from $718,511 to $729,098.32. I can give you my.
And that was due to, that had to do with the new law that we had to abide by this year and having to budget for that. So if we're gonna pull it out of there, it's not already listed in there, so then we would.
What
that's
was
what
the new
she's
amount?
explained.
729.
Here's this if you want.
Thank you.
729.
Okay.
What's the new amount again?
Of the
729.
729,098.32. Okay, so we would need two motions. One, first to increase the expenditures, and then the motion to approve the invoices if that's what the commission chooses to do. But they have to be done separate. I can't do them at the same motion. Sorry.
I'll make the motion to increase the, what do we call it?
Capital expenditures.
Capital expenditures, from $718,000.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Made it a little bigger for you.
718.
511.
511 to 729, 98, 32. Thirds.
I second that.
All right. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tevlin?
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw?
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg?
Yes.
Commissioner Enslin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak?
Yes. All right, and then if you so choose to approve the invoice for Hen and Sons, and again, that amount is $10,587.32 to come from the RDC TIF fund.
I make a motion to approve paying Hen and Sons the $10,587.32 remaining balance on the remodeling of the town hall building.
I second that.
All right, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tevlin?
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw?
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. All right. And, so what on, can you pass that? Thank you, Tina. Easier than writing that number down. Okay, so the next thing that we have on here is a revision of the Carter Blue contract. We talked about this before. We did not have the contract. We have had it in our emails to look over, and it is just to amend the reimbursements, which was not, the language was not in the original contract that we approved for this year. That's correct. Did I check all those
Yes,
boxes?
on the bottom of page 1, under professional fees, it was brought to the attention that mileage was being reimbursed but wasn't included in the contract. Typically, I have that language in, but in the last revision, that was not in there. So this is just seeking to state it clearly that reimbursables are included under that not to exceed amount of the contract. So again, this contract was approved back in January. This is just a correction to reflect what was noted.
Yes, there's no dollar amount change or anything like that.
I move that we approve the revision to the Carter Blue contract.
Second.
Discussion?
So,
Roll.
just to clarify, this is now including that mileage is being paid.
Correct, and that is a practice that
I'm just asking that,
Yes.
but I don't see where that states that.
the
That's not looking at this,
reimbursables,
right?
Just right here.
it's under
There
professionals.
it is, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I didn't read the bottom.
No worries.
All right, any other questions? Do I have a second? Yeah, am I at roll call? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Yes.
Commissioner Tumblin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. All right, approval of the claims register?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tumblin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. Approval of the financial report for the month of May 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner McHarg,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Abstain.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner Tumblin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes. Good of the order. Anybody have anything else? Anything else? Anybody? All right, I will entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tumblin,
Yes.
Commissioner McGraw,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensland,
Yes.
Commissioner McHarg,
Yes.
Commissioner Bozak.
Yes.